Galactic Empire pled for help, but Earth's women had declared war. Part 1. Susan Miller sat at her desk in the control room of Earth Defense Station Alpha. Her eyes were tired from staring at screens all day. As commander of the Earth Defense Fleet, she had to check all security reports. It was boring work, but someone had to do it. The room was quiet, except for the soft beeping of machines. 5 other officers worked at their stations. No one talked much during the night shift. Susan was about to take a break when a red light started flashing on her screen. An alarm sounded, making everyone look up. "Commander, we have an unknown transmission breaking through our security," said Officer Paul Jones. His fingers moved quickly over his keyboard. Susan walked over to his station. "Where is it coming from?" "That's the strange part," Paul said. "It's coming from the Centauri system." Susan's heart beat faster. The Centauri Collective was the biggest power in known space. They had technology humans could only dream about, but they had never talked to Earth before. For 70 years, Earth had sent messages to them. For 70 years, the Centauri had stayed silent. "What does the message say?" Susan asked. Paul pressed a button and words appeared on the screen. "We require immediate assistance, resources depleted, enemy approaching, will negotiate terms." Susan read it 3 times. "Send this to Admiral Carter right away. Wake him up if you have to. And get me a secure line to the Unified Council." Within an hour, Earth's leaders from all countries were meeting in the council chamber. Some were there in person. Others joined through video calls. Admiral William Carter stood next to Susan as she explained what happened. "The Centauri have ignored us for decades," Susan said. "Now they want our help? This feels wrong." Admiral Carter nodded. He was an older man with gray hair and kind eyes, but those eyes could turn hard when needed. "I agree it's suspicious, but we can't ignore this chance for first contact." The room filled with voices as people argued about what to do. Some wanted to send help right away. Others thought it was a trick to attack Earth. Then the door opened, and Dr. Eleanor Reyes walked in. She was the director of xenobiology, the study of alien life. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. "I have information you all need to hear," she said. The room went quiet. "The Centauri aren't asking for our help with a war. They're asking for our women." Gasps filled the room. Admiral Carter frowned. "Explain, Doctor." Eleanor connected her tablet to the main screen. Images of Centauri biology appeared. "My team has been studying them for years. The Centauri are facing extinction. A genetic mutation is killing their female population. They can't have babies anymore." She showed more images. "They need human women. Our DNA is compatible enough with theirs. They want human women to help make Centauri babies." Susan felt sick. "So they ignored us until they needed us as breeding stock?" "Yes," Eleanor said. "And based on their message about negotiating terms, I don't think they plan to ask nicely." The council president stood up. She was a tall woman named Mary Wilson. "How sure are you about this, Doctor?" "Very sure," Eleanor said. "We intercepted some of their communications last year. They've been watching us, studying us. They see humans as resources, not equals." President Wilson looked around the room. "Then we need to vote. Do we help the Centauri or do we refuse?" The vote was quick and unanimous. Earth would not send its women to be used by aliens who had ignored humanity until now. "So what do we do?" asked a council member. "Just say no." Susan stepped forward. "With all due respect, saying no isn't enough. The Centauri are desperate. They won't take no for an answer. We need to show strength." Admiral Carter nodded. "Commander Miller is right. The Centauri will try to take what they want by force. We need to be ready." President Wilson stood tall. "Then let's be clear about what this means. This isn't just a refusal. This is a declaration of war." The words hung in the air. War with the most powerful civilization in known space. It seemed impossible, but the alternative was worse. Susan returned to Defense Station Alpha with new orders. The Earth Defense Fleet would prepare for battle. All 30 ships would be ready to move in 3 days. In her private quarters, Susan looked at pictures of her family. Her mother had been in the military too. Her grandmother had been one of the first women in space. Now Susan would lead humanity's women in the biggest fight of all, the fight to not be treated like animals by aliens. A knock at her door interrupted her thoughts. "Enter," she said. It was Olivia Patterson, General of the Earth's ground forces. She was a strong woman, with dark skin and fierce eyes. "You've heard the news?" Susan asked. Olivia nodded. "War with the Centauri. Never thought I'd see the day." "Are you scared?" Susan asked. "Terrified," Olivia admitted, "but also angry. Who do they think they are? They ignore us for 70 years, then expect us to hand over our women?" Susan stood up. "We won't let that happen." "No, we won't," Olivia agreed. "My troops are ready. The women in my units are especially motivated. No one wants to be alien breeding stock." Susan walked to her window. From here she could see Earth. It looked peaceful, beautiful, and very small in the darkness of space. "The Centauri think we're weak," Susan said. "They think because we're less advanced, we'll just give them what they want." Olivia smiled. "Then they're in for a surprise. Earthwomen don't give up without a fight." Susan turned to her friend. "We need a plan. The Centauri have better ships, better weapons." "But we have something they don't," Olivia said. "What's that?" "Nothing to lose. They need us. We don't need them." Susan nodded slowly. "You're right. And that gives us power." As they began to plan Earth's defense, a message came through. The Centauri had sent coordinates for a meeting. "They expected Earth's representatives to arrive in 5 days. Should we respond?" asked the communications officer. Susan and Olivia looked at each other. Then Susan smiled. "Yes, tell them we'll be there. But we're not coming to talk. We're coming to fight." The message was sent. Earth's first war with an alien civilization had begun, and the women of Earth would lead the way. Galactic Empire pled for help, but Earth's women had declared war. Part 3 3 months had passed since the first battle. Lisa Brooks sat in a secure room deep under Washington, D.C. The walls were thick concrete. No signals could get in or out, unless she allowed them. As Chief of Earth Intelligence Operations, Lisa needed to be careful. The enemy was listening. Lisa studied the reports on her desk. They told a scary story. 12 women had disappeared in the last week. All of them were between 20 and 35 years old. All of them had vanished without a trace. Lisa knew what this meant. The Centauri had come to Earth. She called an emergency meeting of the Earth Council. President Alan Martinez was there, along with military leaders and scientists. Lisa showed them the evidence. "The Centauri are here," she said. "They're taking our women." President Martinez hit the table with his fist. How? How are they getting past our defenses? We have satellites watching for their ships." Lisa pressed a button on her tablet. A picture appeared on the big screen. It showed a normal-looking human man walking down a street. "This is from a security camera in Chicago," she said. "Watch closely." The video played. The man walked normally. Then he passed under a power line. For just a second, his image flickered. His skin showed a purple glow, like the Centauri they had seen in space. "They have disguise technology," Lisa explained. "They can look human, but they give off a special energy signature when they pass through certain electric fields. That's how we spotted this one." The room grew loud as people argued about what to do. Some wanted to tell the public. Others thought that would cause panic. No one had a good plan to stop the Centauri. Then Captain Samantha Wilson spoke up. She was a Navy officer who had fought in the first battle at Alpha Centauri. "We need to turn their trick against them," she said in a clear voice. The room got quiet. "If they want Earth women, let's give them what they want." "What do you mean?" President Martinez asked. "Send them women," Samantha said. "But not just any women. Send soldiers. Send fighters. Women who are ready for them." Lisa thought about this. It was dangerous, but it might work. "A trap," she said. "Exactly," Samantha nodded. "We pretend to surrender. We offer them what they want, but we're ready for them." The plan took shape quickly. Earth would send a message to the Centauri. The message would say Earth was ready to talk about cooperation. They would offer to send 50 women as a sign of good faith, but these wouldn't be just any women. They would be soldiers and scientists, specially trained for this mission. And they would carry a secret weapon. Dr. Nancy Clark, who worked with Dr. Eleanor Reyes, had made an important discovery. The Centauri had a weakness. Their brains were very sensitive to certain electromagnetic frequencies. The right frequency could knock them out without hurting them. It won't kill them, Nancy explained, but it will stop them for a while. Long, enough for us to take control. Lisa volunteered to lead the mission herself. She was 34, right in the age range the Centauri wanted, and she had military training from before she joined intelligence. President Martinez didn't like the plan. "It's too dangerous," he said. "What if they discover the trick?" "Then we fight," Lisa said simply. "But they won't. They think we're weak. They think Earth women will just give up. They don't know us very well." The plan was approved. 50 women began training together. They learned to use the special devices that would disrupt Centauri brains. They practiced fighting in tight spaces. They memorized everything Earth knew about Centauri ships and biology. Nancy Clark worked day and night to perfect the disruptors. They had to be small enough to hide, but strong enough to work. "We can put them in jewelry," she suggested. "The Centauri won't think twice about women wearing earrings or necklaces." The final design looked like simple silver bracelets, but inside each one was powerful technology. 2 weeks later, Lisa stood before the 50 women who would go with her. They were in a large room at the training center. Some were young, some older. All looked strong and determined. "This will be dangerous," Lisa told them honestly. "We don't know exactly what will happen when we get on their ship. We don't know if our plan will work. Some of us might not come back." A tall woman near the front spoke up. Her name was Judy Green. "We know the risks. We all volunteered." Lisa nodded. "I know. I just want to make sure you understand. This isn't just about us. It's about every woman on Earth. It's about making sure our daughters and their daughters never have to face this threat." The room was quiet. Then another woman spoke. "My sister was one of the 12 who disappeared last week," she said. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were angry. "I'm going to find her." Lisa looked at each face in the room. She saw fear there, yes, but she also saw courage, determination, and anger. These women weren't victims, they were warriors. "Then let's get ready," Lisa said. "We leave tomorrow." That night Lisa couldn't sleep. She stood by the window of her room, looking up at the stars. Somewhere up there the Centauri waited. They thought they were coming to collect helpless Earthwomen. Instead, they would meet the strongest fighters Earth had to offer. Lisa touched the silver bracelet on her wrist. It looked simple, but it held the hopes of her entire planet. She thought about all the women in history who had fought for their freedom, their rights, their very lives. Tomorrow, she would join their ranks. "We're not what you expect," she whispered, "to the stars. And that will be your downfall." She turned away from the window and went to check her gear one more time. Tomorrow, the real war would begin, and Earth's women would lead the way. Galactic Empire pled for help, but Earth's women had declared war. Part 2 General Olivia Patterson stood on the bridge of the EDS Valkyrie. The ship was Earth's newest and best warship. It wasn't very big compared to what the Centauri had, but it was fast. Behind the Valkyrie floated 29 other ships. This was everything Earth had, their entire space fleet. Olivia wore her formal uniform. Her dark hair was pulled back tightly. Her face showed no fear, though she felt plenty. The crew around her worked at their stations. They were the best Earth had to offer. "All ships report ready, General," said Daniel Wright from the communications station. He was young but very good at his job. Olivia nodded. "Then let's make history. Jump to the coordinates." The jump drive hummed. Stars stretched into lines, then back to points as the fleet arrived at the edge of the Alpha Centauri system. Through the main window, they could see a massive space station orbiting the second planet. It was at least 10 times bigger than anything humans had built. Almost immediately, the ship's computers beeped with incoming messages. "They're hailing us," Daniel said. Put them on the main screen, Olivia ordered. The screen lit up. The alien that appeared was almost human-looking, but not quite. It had light purple skin that seemed to shine with its own light. Its eyes changed color as it moved. "We welcome Earth's representatives," it said in perfect English. "We are pleased you have come to discuss—" "We're not here to discuss anything," Olivia cut in. "We got your message. We know what you want. Earth says no." The alien's face changed. Slightly. It was hard to read its expressions. "You misunderstand. We offer you advanced technology, knowledge of faster travel between stars, in exchange for treating our women like animals." Olivia's voice was hard as steel. "Earth has declared protective action against the Centauri Collective. You will stop trying to get human women, or we will fight." The alien's eyes narrowed. "You cannot hope to win against us in battle." Olivia smiled. "We were hoping you'd say that." She cut the connection and turned to her weapons officer, Frank Nelson. "Are the quantum disruptors ready?" Frank nodded. "Yes, General. All ships report green status. Activate them now." Throughout the Earth fleet, special devices turned on. These were Earth's secret weapon, quantum disruption fields. Dr. Eleanor Reyes and her team had developed them after studying leaked Centauri technology. The fields bent light and other energy around the ships, making them invisible to Centauri sensors. On the main screen, they could see the Centauri station coming alive with lights. Small fighter ships began pouring out of its docking bays. "They're looking for us," Daniel said. "But they can't find us." Olivia nodded. "Move the fleet into position. Remember the plan. We don't want to destroy them. We just want to show them we're not easy targets." The Earth ships moved silently through space. They surrounded the Centauri station, staying out of the paths of the searching fighters. "All ships in position," Frank reported. "Fire electromagnetic pulses," Olivia ordered. "Target their weapon systems only." From each Earth ship, invisible pulses shot out. They hit the Centauri station at the same time. The station's lights flickered. The fighter ships suddenly lost power and began drifting. "Direct hit," Frank said with a smile. "Their weapons are offline." "Open the channel again," Olivia said. The alien appeared on screen again. It looked surprised. "What have you done? How did you—" "We disabled your weapons," Olivia explained. "We could have destroyed your station, but we didn't. We're not monsters, like you." The alien's eyes changed color rapidly. "This is impossible. Your technology is not advanced enough for this." "You underestimated us," Olivia said. "Earth is willing to talk peace, but not while you threaten our women. We won't be your breeding stock." There was a long pause. The alien seemed to be talking to someone off-screen. Finally, it turned back. "We will talk. We need time to discuss among our leaders." "You have 24 hours, Olivia said. "Then we want your answer." The Earth fleet pulled back, but stayed in the system. The quantum disruptors kept them hidden from Centauri sensors. The crew of the Valkyrie celebrated their small victory, but Olivia knew this wasn't over. She went to her private room and called Earth. Susan Miller appeared on her screen. "It worked," Olivia reported. "The quantum disruptors worked perfectly. We disabled their weapons and they've agreed to talk." Susan smiled. "Good work, Olivia, but be careful. The Centauri are smart. They won't give up that easily." "I know. I've doubled the watch. No one sleeps for more than 4 hours at a time." "Good. We've learned more about them here," Susan said. Her face grew serious. "Eleanor's team found information in old signals. The Centauri have been watching us for over 50 years. They know a lot about us." Olivia frowned. "That's not good news." "No, it's not. And there's more. They might have agents on Earth already. We're checking reports of strange sightings." Just then, alarms blared on the Valkyrie. Olivia looked up. "I have to go. Something's happening." She rushed back to the bridge. Frank was at his station, looking worried. "General, we're picking up energy readings. The Centauri station is powering up something big." "Is it a weapon?" Olivia asked. "No. It's different. I've never seen anything like it." The space around, The Centauri station began to ripple like water when you throw a stone in it. Then a hole opened in space itself. A bright light shone through. "What is that?" Daniel asked, his voice shaking. "Some kind of portal," Frank guessed. "A doorway through space." Olivia watched as ships began coming through the portal. Not small fighters, but huge warships. Dozens of them, much bigger than anything in Earth's fleet. "They called for backup," Olivia said quietly. "Get me Earth Command now." As Daniel worked to establish a connection, Olivia stared at the growing Centauri fleet. They had known Earth's response would be no. They had planned for this. The war was just beginning and Earth was outnumbered. But Olivia Patterson had no intention of surrendering. The Centauri wanted Earth's women. They would have to fight for every single one. And Earth women knew how to fight. "All ships, maintain quantum disruption," she ordered. "They can't hit what they can't see. And prepare for emergency jump back to Earth. We need a new plan." As the Valkyrie and the other Earth ships prepared to jump away, Olivia made a silent promise. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. The real battle for Earth's women was just beginning. Galactic Empire pled for help, but Earth's women had declared war. Part 5-1. Week after Earth women took control of the Centauri mothership, Lisa Brooks stood in the great meeting hall. This was where the Centauri had once planned to announce their victory over humans. Now it would be where they admitted defeat. The hall was filled with Centauri officials on one side and Earth representatives on the other. The Centauri no longer looked proud. Their purple skin seemed duller. Their color-changing eyes stayed mostly dark blue, which Lisa had learned meant they were sad or afraid. High Commander Vex sat across from President Martinez. Neither looked happy to be there. "The terms are simple," Lisa said, placing a tablet on the table between them. "The Centauri will share their technology with Earth. They will recognize humans as equals, and they will find another way to solve their genetic problems without taking any women from any planet." Vex looked at the tablet but didn't touch it. "You ask too much. Without compatible genetic material, my species will die out within 3 generations. Dr. Nancy Clark stepped forward. She had spent the past week studying Centauri biology in their own labs. "There are other solutions. Your scientists were too focused on one path. We've found at least 2 other ways to fix your genetic mutation." She showed images on a screen. They were complex, but she explained them simply. "We can help you repair your own genetic code. Or we can help you create artificial wombs that don't need donors. Both will take time, but both will work." Vex looked surprised. "Your scientists discovered this in 1 week?" "Because we worked together," Nancy said. "We didn't just take what we wanted, we cooperated. That's the difference between us." The peace talks continued for hours. By the end, both sides had agreed to terms. The Centauri would stop all attempts to take women from Earth or any other planet. They would share their technology with humans, and both species would work together to solve the Centauri genetic crisis. Lisa watched as Vex and President Martinez signed the agreement. It wasn't a perfect solution. Many humans still didn't trust the Centauri. Many Centauri still thought humans were beneath them, but it was a start. After the signing, Kate Foster found Lisa in a quiet corner of the ship. "Do you think they'll keep their word?" she asked. Lisa looked through a window at the stars. "They don't have much choice. We still control their ships, and they need our help now." Kate nodded. "What about the women they took? The 12 who disappeared?" "We found them," Lisa said with a small smile. "They were being kept in special rooms on this ship. They're safe now. A bit scared, but safe." Both women were quiet for a moment. Then Kate said, "I never thought we'd win." "Not really. They were so much stronger than us." "No." Lisa shook her head. "They had better ships and weapons. But we were stronger where it mattered. We worked together. We didn't give up." 3 weeks later, the Earth ships began their journey home. They were joined by 3 Centauri science vessels. These ships carried Centauri scientists who would work with humans to solve the genetic crisis. On Earth, people gathered to watch the ship's return. Large screens in city centers showed the fleet approaching. The biggest cheer came when the 50 women who had taken the mothership stepped off their ship. They were greeted as heroes. President Martinez gave each one a special medal, but the women didn't feel like heroes. They had done what needed to be done, nothing more. Lisa stood with Susan Miller and Olivia Patterson at the celebration party afterward. They watched as humans and Centauri tried to talk to each other. It was awkward, but people were trying. "Do you think this will work?" Susan asked. "Us and them, working together?" Olivia shrugged. "It has to. The alternative is war, and nobody wants that." "It will take time," Lisa said. "They've been looking down on other species for thousands of years. We've been afraid of aliens for just as long. Old habits don't change overnight." A young Centauri scientist approached them. She was one of the few female Centauri left. Her name was Talia, and she worked with Nancy Clark. "I wanted to thank you," she said in careful English. "Not just for helping us, but for showing us another way." Lisa smiled. "It's in our best interest, too. War helps no one." "My people were wrong about humans," Talia said. "We thought you were primitive because your technology isn't as advanced. We didn't see your real strength." "And what's that?" Olivia asked. "You care for each other," Talia said, "even those who aren't like you. My people stopped doing that long ago. We only looked out for ourselves." After Talia left, the three women stood quietly for a moment. Then Susan raised her glass. "To Earth's women," she said, "who went to war, to make peace." "To all women," Lisa added, "past, present, and future. May they always be free to choose their own path." They drank to that. Years passed. The relationship between Earth and the Centauri grew stronger. It wasn't always easy. There were misunderstandings and arguments, but there was progress too. With Centauri technology, humans built better ships and explored further into space. They met other species, some friendly, some not. But they never forgot the lesson of the Centauri War. The genetic crisis was solved. In the 5th year of cooperation, Dr. Nancy Clark and a team of Centauri scientists found a way to repair the damaged genes. The Centauri population began to grow again, without needing any donors from other species. 10 years after the war, Lisa Brooks stood on the observation deck of the new Earth Centauri space station. It orbited between Earth and the Moon, a symbol of cooperation between the two species. Next to her stood a young girl, her daughter. The girl looked out at the stars with wonder in her eyes. "Will I get to go out there someday?" the girl asked. Lisa smiled. "If you want to. You can go anywhere, be anything. That's what we fought for." The girl nodded. She had heard the stories of the war, how Earth's women had stood up against a powerful enemy, how they had fought not just for themselves, but for all women who would come after them. "I'm glad you fought," she said simply. Lisa put her arm around her daughter's shoulders. "Me too." Together they watched the stars, no longer afraid of what might come from them. Galactic Empire pled for help, but Earth's women had declared war. Part 4. The Earthship moved slowly toward the huge Centauri mothership. It was small and white, with the words Earth Delegation painted on its side. Inside were 50 women, all wearing simple gray uniforms. They looked calm, but their hearts beat fast. Commander Kate Foster stood at the front of the ship. She was tall with short blonde hair. Her silver bracelet felt heavy on her wrist. It looked like normal jewelry, but it held their best hope for survival. "Approaching the docking bay," said Julie Green from the pilot's seat. Julie was young but very skilled. "They're using magnetic beams to pull us in." Kate nodded. "Everyone remember your story. Dr. Rivera, you're up." Dr. Maria Rivera moved to the communication station. She was Earth's best language expert. She pressed a button and spoke clearly. "Centauri Command, this is Earth Delegation Alpha. We request permission to come aboard and discuss cooperation." The answer came quickly. "Permission granted. Prepare for air adjustment." The small Earth ship was pulled into a massive docking bay inside the Centauri mothership. It was bigger than a football field. Other alien ships were parked there. Lights flashed along the walls. The 50 women gathered near the exit door. They checked each other's uniforms. They touched their bracelets for luck. "Remember?" Kate said, quietly. "Smile. Look a little scared. Let them think we're just what they wanted. Obedient Earth women ready to help them." The door opened with a hiss. Outside stood 10 Centauri. They looked almost human, but their skin had a purple shine. Their eyes changed color as they moved. "Welcome," said the one in front. "I am First Officer Morell. We are pleased by Earth's decision to cooperate." Kate stepped forward. She had practiced looking submissive. "Thank you for accepting us. We are honored to help the Great Centauri Collective." The Centauri seemed pleased by this. They led the women through long hallways. The ship was enormous. The walls were made of a strange metal that seemed to glow from within. "Their technology is amazing," whispered Nancy Clark to Kate. Nancy was trying to look impressed instead of calculating weak points. The Centauri took them to a large room with comfortable chairs and tables of food. The food looked strange but smelled good. "These will be your quarters," said Morell. "Please rest. Tonight there will be a formal dinner with High Commander Vex. He is very pleased by Earth's change of heart." After the Centauri left, the women checked the room for listening devices. They found 3 and left them alone. It was expected. "Phase 1 starting now," Kate said quietly as they pretended to eat and rest. "Teams of 2, just like we practiced." While most of the women stayed in the main room, talking loudly about how beautiful the ship was, small teams slipped out through side doors. They wore small devices that disrupted the ship's security sensors. Dr. Eleanor Reyes had made these, based on what they learned in the first battle. Kate went with Maria Rivera. They moved silently through service corridors. Their goal was the ship's computer system. "Left here," Maria whispered, following the map they had memorized. They found a small room with computer panels. Maria took out a device that looked like a makeup compact. It could connect to Centauri computers. "I'm in," she said after a minute. "Downloading ship maps and—" "Oh no." Kate looked over her shoulder. "What is it?" "They've been studying us for centuries," Maria said, her voice shaking a little. "Look at this data. They've been watching Earth since at least the 1500s. Kate felt cold. "So we were never random? They've been planning this all along?" "Yes," Maria confirmed, still reading. "They've been guiding our development, making sure our genetics stayed compatible with theirs." Kate felt angry. Humans thought they had built their civilization themselves, but all along, alien eyes had been watching, planning, waiting for the right time to harvest them. "There's more," Maria said. "According to their plan, they're starting mass collection in 5 days. They're going to take millions of women from Earth." Kate's hand tightened into a fist. "Not if we stop them first. Download everything you can. We need to move up our timeline." Meanwhile, other teams were placing small devices at key points throughout the ship. The devices looked like nothing special, but they would amplify the signal from the women's bracelets when the time came. By evening, all teams had returned safely to their quarters. The Centauri suspected nothing. The formal dinner was held in a grand hall. Hundreds of Centauri officials were there, dressed in shining clothes. The Earth women wore dresses provided by the Centauri. Each dress had plenty of places to hide their silver bracelets. High Commander Vex was tall with darker purple skin than the others. His eyes were mostly gold in color. He spoke to the gathered crowd. "Today marks a historic day. Earth has wisely chosen to join us. Their genetic material will save our species from extinction." Kate noticed how he talked about them, not as people but as genetic material. The Centauri didn't see humans as equals, just as resources to use. Vex turned to Kate. "Would Earth's leader like to say a few words?" Kate stood up. This wasn't in the plan, but she could use it. As she walked to the front, she sent a signal to the others by touching her bracelet twice. "Get ready. The people of Earth understand helping each other," Kate began, choosing her words carefully. "We have something you need. And you have something we need too. Vex looked confused. This wasn't the submissive speech he expected. And what might that be? Kate smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Your complete surrender. She pressed her bracelet hard. All around the room, the other women did the same. Their bracelets sent out electromagnetic pulses tuned exactly to affect Centauri brains. The effect was immediate. Centauri throughout the room fell to their knees. They weren't dead, just stunned. The amplifiers placed around the ship carried. The signal everywhere. Move now, Kate shouted. The Earthwomen sprang into action. They had practiced this. Some ran to the ship's control room. Others went to the communications center. A team led by Nancy Clark headed to the engine room. Within 20 minutes, they had control of the mothership. The Centauri were alive, but unable to fight back. Kate stood in the control room, looking at the screens showing the stunned Centauri throughout the ship. They had done it. 50 Earthwomen had taken over the most powerful ship in the Centauri fleet. She opened a communication. Channel to Earth. Susan Miller's face appeared on the screen. Phase 2 complete, Kate reported. We have control of the mothership, sending defense codes now. Susan smiled. Good work. The fleet is jumping to your position. The Earth fleet arrived minutes later, led by General Olivia Patterson. With the defense codes from the mothership, they quickly disabled the other Centauri, vessels using the same neural disruption technology. Kate watched from the control room window as Earth ships surrounded the Centauri fleet. The ships that had seemed so threatening before now floated helpless in space. Earth's women had not surrendered. They had not become victims. Instead, they had become conquerors, and the war had just turned in Earth's favor.